Okay, section 12.3, picking up with number 11, a square pyramid with an altitude of 12 inches, slant height of 18 inches. We want to find the lateral area and the surface area. So our lateral area is half of the perimeter of the base times the slant height. So we're given the slant height, which is 18 inches. We're also given the altitude, so if we drop a perpendicular segment to the base straight down, that is 12 inches. So we have the slant height, we have to find the perimeter. So to find the perimeter, we can use this right triangle inside here. And I'm calling this missing leg A, so I have A squared plus my other leg is 12, so 12 squared is equal to hypotenuse squared, 18 squared. So if A is the square root of 180, well, that correlates to this side right here, so that would be half the length of this side is the square root of 180. So if I multiply that by 2, my entire side length is 2 times the square root of 180. And since I have 4 sides, each of them 2 square root of 180, my perimeter will be equal to 4 times the length of the side, or 8 square root of 180. Now I'm going to substitute this in to my formula for lateral area. So lateral area is equal to half the perimeter, so half of 8 square root of 180 times the slant height, which is 18. So this gives me half of 8 is 4, times 18 is 72, square root of 180, which I can use my calculator and get approximately 966 square inches. Now I'm going to use this lateral area to find my surface area, which is lateral area plus the area of the base. Since my base is a square, to find the area of the square, I just take a side and square it. So my lateral area is 72 square root of 180. And then the area of the square is, my side length is 2 square root of 180. And then I'm going to take that and square it. So I get 72 square root of 180. 2 squared is 4. The square root of 180 squared is 180. And 4 times 180 plus 72 times the square root of 180 is approximately 1,686 square inches for surface area. Number 13, find the lateral area of a pyramid-shaped building that has a slant height of 210 feet and a square base 332 feet by 332 feet. So lateral area is half of the perimeter times the slant height. So our perimeter says is a square, well, the perimeter of a square would be our side length times 4. So we want to take half of the perimeter of the base, 4 times the length of the side, times the slant height, and we're given the slant height is 210. So 1/2 times 4 times 332 times 210 gives me 139,440 square feet. Number 15, find the lateral area and surface area of each cone, round to the nearest tenth. So, my formula for lateral area is pi times radius times slant height, which we're not given here, so we need to use Pythagorean theorem to find L. The radius would be half of the diameter, so my radius would be 6 centimeters, since my diameter is 12 centimeters. So I have 18 for one leg, 6 for the other leg, and I need to find the hypotenuse. So 6 squared plus 18 squared is equal to L squared. And 6 squared plus 18 squared is 360. Therefore, L is equal to the square root of 360, which I could write as 36 times 10, and the square root of 36 is 6. So I can write this as 6 squared of 10 for my slant height. So my lateral area is pi times the radius is 6 times the slant height is the square root of 360. Which rounds to 357.6 square centimeters. Now to find my surface area, which is equal to the lateral area plus the area of the base. So my lateral area is 6 times pi times the square root of 360. And formula for area of a circle, which is my base, is pi r squared. So pi times 6 squared, 36. And so I get approximately 470.7 square centimeters for my surface area. Number 17, the altitude is 5 feet and the slant height is 9.5 feet. So, first thing, we need to make our diagram just as I've done here. And I have the altitude, okay, which would be from the base straight up, perpendicular to the base, to the vertex of the cone. And my slant height is 9.5 feet, or 9.5 feet. So my lateral area is equal to pi RL. So I need to figure out what my radius is. I have a right triangle, so I would take radius squared plus 5 squared and set that equal to my hypotenuse, which is 9.5 squared. And if I square 9.5 and subtract 25 from it, r squared is equal to 65.25, and therefore my radius is the square root of that. So now I can substitute that back in for my lateral area, which is pi times the square root of 65.25 times my slant height, 9.5. And if we round this to the nearest tenth, we have 241.1 square feet. Now we just need to find our surface area, which is equal to the lateral area plus the area of the base, so pi r squared, pi times the square root of 65.25 squared. pi r squared. So when I square that, I just get 65.25. So pi times the square root of 65.25 times 9.5 plus pi times 65.25 rounds to approximately 446.1 square feet for surface area. Number 19, archaeologists recently discovered a 1,500-year-old pyramid in Mexico City. The square pyramid measures 165 yards on each side and once stood 20 yards tall. So 20 yards for my altitude. What was the original lateral area of the pyramid? So you can see the sketch that I made for this. That's the first thing that we need to do. And we want to find the lateral area. So lateral area is half of the perimeter times the slant height. So since I don't know what the slant height is, I would find that first. I have this right triangle formed by the altitude, and then this would be half the length of a side. So if I take 165 and divide by 2, half of the length of the side of the base is 82.5 yards. And also formed by the slant height. The slant height is the hypotenuse of this right triangle. So I would take 20 squared plus 82.5 squared and set that equal to my slant height squared. So if I square both of these values and find their sum, and then take the square root of that, I now have a value for my slant height. My perimeter, since it is a square, would just be 165 times 4, since there are 4 sides, each of them 165 yards long. And then times my slant height. And we get approximately 28,013.6 square yards. Number 21, what is the sum of the number of faces, vertices, and edges of an octagonal pyramid? So we want faces, vertices, and edges. So our faces, since our base has 8 sides, an octagon has 8 sides, then there would be 8 faces, one face connected to each side of the base. So there are 8 faces that go around this pyramid, plus the base. So that makes 9 faces total. The vertices, there would be our vertex at the top of the pyramid, plus 8 vertices. So there are 9 vertices. Our edges, there are 8 edges for our base, and then there are 8 edges which connect our vertex with our base vertices. So there are 8 plus 8, or 16 edges. So if we add those up, there would be 34 faces, vertices, and edges combined.